While Americans like to imagine the United States as a nation defined by the rule of law and civil discourse, riots have long been a regular feature of our political life. From the unrest tied to the civil rights movement in the 1960s and 70s, to the LA riots of 1992 and the BLM and Antifa riots in 2020, anyone surveying the last 60 years would come away stunned by the sheer volume of civil disorder. These uprisings typically center on tensions between the black community and law enforcement, a reckoning, however painful, that's internal to the country. What's happening in Los Angeles this week is something else entirely. This isn't domestic unrest, it's an invasion. Illegal aliens have flooded the streets, waving foreign flags and openly declaring their intent to reclaim California in the name of Mexico. This isn't just ideological subversion or economic pressure, it's open confrontation, and it's playing out on American soil. Illegal immigration has pushed the United States to the brink, and everyone can feel it. Democrats have adopted open borders as de facto policy, aiming to replace the current population with more reliable voters while reshaping American culture. Republicans haven't done much better. They've offered amnesty and ignored conservative concerns about crime, jobs, and demographic collapse. Communities that stood intact for generations now find themselves surrounded by strangers who neither speak the language nor express interest in assimilating. Ghettoization, not integration, has become the norm. That's why voters gave Trump a second term, and that's why his administration must finally deliver on immigration. A second failure to act would not just be political malpractice, it would be civilizational betrayal. We're told that illegal immigrants are just hardworking dreamers who want a better life, and some are, but more come seeking access to welfare and jobs that allow them to send remittances back home. The sheer volume of illegal aliens from countries like Mexico means that they face little pressure to assimilate. They don't need to. In many cities, they can live their entire lives inside self-sustaining ethnic enclaves. The Trump administration has promised large-scale deportations, but for now, ICE has been focused on the worst offenders, gang members, drug dealers, and violent criminals. In Los Angeles, agents targeted those exact threats. There were no mass sweeps, but the facts just don't matter. Leftist nonprofits rallied protesters to the streets, ready to block arrests, assault officers, and ignite another round of mayhem. As always, the progressive playbook called for riots, but this time the optics changed. They don't look like concerned citizens, they look like an invading army. And while media outlets still insist on calling it a protest, Americans watching footage of police cars in flames see something else. Hey guys, it's almost Father's Day, and if you're still scrambling for a gift, don't worry, we've got you covered. Forget the last-minute grill gadget or coffee mug. What your husband or father really wants is something that speaks to his values. And in a world that mocks masculinity, traditional values, and fatherhood, he needs a place that still has his back, and that's where Blaze TV comes in. We honor masculinity, and we honor the contributions of fathers. And right now, you can grab our Father's Day special, which is $30 off an annual subscription when you use the code DAD30 this week only. It's a fast and easy way to pick up something that your father will really enjoy, and you don't have to bother wrapping it. So skip the predictable gift, and this Father's Day, give him something that actually matters. Go to blazetv.com/Auron and use DAD30 to grab the deal. That's blazetv.com/Auron with the code DAD30. The truth cuts through the narrative. Most illegal immigrants are young, single, military-aged men. That fact alone should reframe the entire debate. Any progressive organizer can choreograph a protest, but when idle, aggressive men view it as an ethnic struggle. Violence escalates. These men rally around the Mexican flag, shouting slogans of vengeance and praise for La Raza, or the race, with open hostility. Some conservative commentators have mocked the spectacle, rioters waving a flag of a country they refuse to return to, but the joke reveals a blind spot. These agitators know something that mainstream conservatives don't. A nation is its people, not just a place. Many on the right have bought into a liberal fiction, that the U.S. is a territory defined entirely by abstractions. The moment an illegal immigrant steps on the magic soil, we're told that he becomes an American. But that's not how immigrants think. Mexico is not just a location, it's an identity. Wherever Mexicans go, they carry Mexico with them. They don't wish to become Americans. They wish to conquer Americans. And now, Mexico has made that agenda explicit. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum responded to proposed remittance taxes in the One Big Beautiful Bill by declaring, quote, "If necessary, we'll mobilize. We don't want taxes on remittances from our fellow countrymen, from the U.S. to Mexico," end quote. That statement says it all. Sheinbaum considers Mexicans in the United States to be her people. Their first loyalty, in her view, belongs to Mexico. She called on them to rise up and defend the 5% of Mexico's economy that relies on remittances. And by the way, that's a larger figure than tourism or even most of their exports. When the Russian government was accused of buying Facebook ads with the intention of manipulating the American presidential election, that was considered so heinous that it justified sanctions and even possible military action. If Mexico calling on its expatriate population to riot doesn't count as hostile foreign interference, what does? The Mexican diaspora is not just a collection of humble workers sending money home. It functions as a pressure release valve, a political weapon, and a massive revenue stream, and Mexico will fight to protect it. In 2020, Trump paid a giant price for not cracking down on domestic unrest. This time, he hasn't hesitated. ICE continues its operations. National Guard troops and the U.S. Marines have been deployed to protect federal agents. Stephen Miller and other Trump officials had made it clear that Governor Gavin Newsom and Mayor Karen Bass have facilitated this violence and that ICE won't back down. Every riot is a powder keg, and this one is no different, but the footage is damning. Americans see military-age foreigners vowing to retake California from Mexico. Trump didn't manufacture this crisis, but he now has the clearest mandate imaginable to solve it. Mass deportations are not a talking point anymore. They're a national imperative. The window to act is narrow. But if he acts decisively, history will mark this moment as one in which sovereignty was restored, not the one in which it finally slipped away. To meet the moment, the Trump administration must do more than restore order. It must articulate a vision of a national renewal. The American people have grown weary of half measures and cosmetic fixes. They want to know that their leaders take the concept of citizenship seriously and will defend it at all costs. The riots in LA should be treated as a turning point. What began as a border crisis has become a test of national will. Trump's legacy and the Republic's future depend on what happens next. Now, after this piece was written and published, unfortunately, Donald Trump came out with this tweet, and it's not good, to say the least. Now, I don't want to overreact. Trump says a lot of things, and most of them don't actually become policy. However, the optics of this tweet look like Trump bending the knee. Basically, he says here, well, farmers and people who work in the hotel industry, they need slave labor, and they've got all of these workers, and they don't want to lose them, so we're really just focusing on the criminals. That's what really matters, and the answer is no, absolutely not. These people should not be employing illegal aliens. They should first be fined severely and then arrested if they refuse to stop employing illegal aliens, and the aliens themselves should be deported. That is what everyone actually supports. That's what people voted for. That's why Donald Trump was elected, for mass deportations, the removal of illegals no matter what. We are not looking for amnesty. We're not looking for a Dreamers program. None of it. They need to go. And Trump doing this after the violence of the LA riots is absolutely insane, because all that teaches the left is that violence works. Donald Trump had an election stolen from him because of wide-scale riots in 2020. That worked for the left. The only way they will learn there's a price is if Donald Trump's return actually does something to their coalition, actually has a serious political impact. But instead, Trump seems to be saying, well, if you riot, then I won't deport some of these people, which just tells the left what we should be doing is rioting. This will normalize violence in the United States as a political weapon even more than it already has been, and the left will be in sole possession of that weapon. When the left riots, they get what they want, and if the right even tries to do it, they get thrown in a gulag for years on end like January 6 guys did. Again, I really hope that this is one of those things that Trump just fired off and then drops, because otherwise this is a serious problem. Mass deportations are the promise. They need to happen. They need to go back, and violence by rioters in LA should not have an impact on Trump's policies. Get it done. Serve your constituents. I don't want to hear anything about amnesty or anything about ignoring employers. These people need to be punished. End illegal immigration now. Do not bend to the violence of the left. There is no excuse. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, now is a great time to do so. If you want to get these broadcasts as podcasts, make sure to subscribe to the Auron MacIntyre Show on your favorite podcast platform, and when you do, leave a rating or review. It really helps with the algorithm magic. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter or Gab or Instagram, if you'd like to watch these videos on Rumble or Odyssey, the links to do all of that are down below in the description. And of course, if you would like to read my latest column or watch my latest show, it's all over at The Blaze. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll talk to you next time.